Well, hi guys, you're here with Joe Thomas from All About Country Music Promotions, and this is our first edition of Country One-on-One. Today we're here with Liam Brew. Some of you will already know Liam. Liam's got 2 albums out, Wild Heart and Faster. So I first met Liam in 2009 when he took out the Toyota Stomacher competition. So Liam, tell us a little bit about yourself for our viewers that don't know who you are.
Basically I just grew up listening to country music, absolutely loving it, and being a country singer is all I ever wanted to do. So as you mentioned there with Stomacher, that really gave me my opportunity to make it a career, and then a lot of hard work after that has made it still possible. So yeah, I love what I do, and I hope that comes across in what I do as well.
Awesome. So how old were you when you realised that you wanted to be a performer?
Honestly, I was probably only 3 or 4. When kids say that I want to be a fireman or an astronaut when they grow up, I would say I want to be a country singer. It was just always what I wanted to do, and I think around that time I went along to a Lee Kernaghan concert.
And I said, Mum and Dad, that's what I want to do. So
cool. So now the next question is a really important one. Are you a singer who plays guitar, or are you a guitarist who sings?
Oh no, I'm a singer that plays guitar. I get away with what I have to do on guitar, but that's about it. What you see is about all I can do. So I'll fluff my way through it. But I'm definitely a singer first and foremost.
Well, you fluff rather well, because I would never have known. So. Okay, so at any time in your life did you ever stray away from country music? I know myself, I was raised on country, but then I hit those teenage years, and then I sort of strayed off to the top 40 of all things. But later in life, I came back to what my roots were. So did that ever happen to you, or has it always been country?
I never strayed completely. It was always, even when I was through my teenage years, I remember mowing Mum and Dad's lawn for $5 each time to save up to buy the new Alan Jackson record or whatever. There was a few times there. Obviously, your friends are listening to different things in your early teens, and you have a little bit of a listen. Even till today, acts like John Mayer and Thirsty Merc, Maroon 5. There's a few sort of non-country acts that I listen to, but if you looked at my iPod, it'd be 99% country, and it's always been that way.
Sweet, sounds like my house. So what was the first album you ever bought, and the first concert that you ever attended?
This is quite embarrassing. The first album that I ever bought with Mum and Dad's money, as you do when you're a kid, was Outback Club by Lee Kernaghan. But the first album that I bought with my own money is absolutely horrendous. It was Britney Spears' debut album. I think it was probably because of it came with a poster. So at 13, that's
every teenage boy's dream.
Exactly. That's really embarrassing, but unfortunately true. The first concert I went to would have been a John Williamson concert. Back when I was about 4 or 5.
Awesome. So we can see that Liam's roots were really cemented in country music. So who would be that one artist that you would love to share the stage with?
It's a tough question.
It's a very tough question.
But I think just because of the influence when I was a kid, I'm not only myself as a fan of country music and as an artist now, but also his influence on the other artists that have influenced me from day dot as well. They have to be Garth Brooks. Even when you look at people like Lee Kernaghan or basically every Australian male country singer has been pretty heavily influenced by Garth Brooks, and any current country singer in the States has been influenced by Garth Brooks in a big way. So definitely. I think because of his impact on country music internationally, he'd have to be the one.
Love your country music?
Then come along to Johnny Ringo's for Breathe Easy Country for Fibrosis and see amazing artists Kelly Llewellyn, Liam Brew, Celine McAllister, Paul Cowderoy and Georgia Fall.
Country for Fibrosis is at Johnny Ringo's on November 6th, and tickets are just $15 pre-sale or $20 at the door, with all proceeds going towards Cystic Fibrosis Queensland.
As well as incredible music, there will also be raffles and other great prizes to be won.
So come along to Johnny Ringo's on November 6th for Country for Fibrosis.
Visit www.countryforfibrosis.com. countryforfibrosis.com for more info.
You won Toyota Star Maker in 2009. Was that something that you wanted to do yourself, or were you guided in the direction of actually entering that competition? And would you suggest that other up-and-coming artists actually take that same path?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, Toyota Star Maker for me was something from when I was probably 13 or 14 and I really started taking country music as a career serious. I earmarked 2009 as the year that I was planning to be ready, and that was the year I wanted to win it. And in those sort of ensuing years, people like Travis Collins and the McClimates, they all sort of went through that as well. And I could really see that as a great pathway to get to where I wanted to get. And yeah, from when I was 14, 15, 2009 was the year I was going to win it. And I actually failed an essay at high school. You have to make a 5-year plan after you leave school, and I wrote in it when I was about 15 that in 2009 I was going to win Toyota Star Maker, and that was going to be the start of my country music career, and I failed because I wasn't taking it serious. Because winning a competition apparently wasn't a plan. So yeah, it was always something for me that I was going to do, and thankfully it came to fruition.
So how do you find the country music scene in Brisbane?
It's definitely changed over the years. When I sort of first started coming into the industry as a professional, it was fairly strong, and we had lots of venues that were supporting it, lots of acts that would tour through Brisbane. It's definitely changed. We've lost a lot of those venues, and people aren't touring as much these days, I don't think, in the same way they were before. So that's always going to hurt the touring scene, but it's great to see there's a lot of new venues that are coming through recently that are trying to build live music, and in particular country music within Brisbane. So you can start to see that resurgence, which is really exciting, not only as a country music fan, but as an artist as well, in our local region.
Give our viewers an idea of what it takes to just to choose a set list.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Firstly, you always have a bit of an idea. For me, it comes back to my brand all the time, as far as what songs I'm doing. But each venue and each crowd and each night is totally different, and you really have to play to that. Again, the obvious things, whether it's a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon, totally different show that you're putting on. So, they're sort of all the factors that come into it. But again, too, depends on how I'm feeling, on the day. It's not only is it sort of a physically draining thing to put on a show, but you put so much emotion into it as well. So obviously, depending on how your emotions are that day, really impacts what kind of show you put on. So that comes through in the set list as well. But yeah, mainly it's just you pick your venue, you pick your day, and you have a fair idea of what kind of crowd you're going to be up against, and tailor it to suit.